If you've ever spent a significant amount of time in a climbing gym, chances are you've probably seen someone sat under a boulder looking like this. Most climbers know that this is called visualization, but less of them know why it's important, and even less of them actually use it. Visualization is essentially practicing the moves in your head, which sounds simple enough, but not a lot of people use it, and I think it's incredibly powerful. Depending on how good you are at it, you can essentially practice moves without wasting any energy. Your brain can't actually tell that good of a difference between something that you've vividly imagined and something that you've actually done. That means if you're very good at visualizing, you can essentially practice moves without having to pull on the wall at all. The ability to dial in a sequence without wasting things like skin, finger capacity, or just general energy sounds incredibly powerful, and that's because it is. When you visualize well before climbing, instead of throwing yourself at the wall without a real plan, your session can last longer because you conserve energy, and each attempt becomes higher quality as well. If we extrapolate that over years, it can start to really add up and have a large impact on your overall climbing trajectory. You can start to give a lot more actual attempts by slowing down your process instead of too hastily going for send burns without having the moves well dialed. Now, I'm not saying you have to have every move well dialed in amazing detail before starting to go for send burns. Some climbers are just absolute gods of execution. What that means is their threshold of knowing the moves before sending the whole climb would be lower. However, everyone needs to have the moves dialed to some extent, and visualization can definitely help with that. Just anecdotally, I found when people I climb with try to give ground burns when they don't know the climb very well, they're just trying to get lucky. It usually happens out of desperation or frustration. If you're honest with yourself and you find that you are someone who sometimes falls into that mental state, I would just be really cautious. Just try not to fall into that when you're projecting something. To give some practical tips for visualization, I don't think you actually need to do the hand and leg movements if you don't want to. I know a lot of climbers find it a bit silly. I think closing your eyes and just trying to really vividly picture every move on the climb is enough. That's what I personally do. There's probably countless ways of visualizing, so just doing some research and finding the way that you like the most is what I'd advise. Another thing is that the sky's sort of the limit with visualizing. Like if you wanted to, you could just visualize 24/7, although not a lot of us would be that obsessed. I think a good level for me personally, which you might like as well, is just visualizing each time before you pull on the wall to give an attempt on your project. That way you have the moves fresh in your mind. And if I have a long-term project that's spanning multiple sessions that I want to get done, I might just visualize here and there throughout the day. I want to reiterate that luck is not a viable strategy for sending climbs, and visualization can help mitigate that luck a little bit and help make moves more reliable.